Welcome back to our channel. Today we will bring to viewers the surprises and drama of the movie Beyond the Gates. Today we will explore together the mysterious death of Anita's husband, James. A mysterious death that has only now been revealed by Dante. Dante, a young lawyer with a calm appearance but a mysterious gaze, has been quietly preparing a step that no one in the legal world dares to take. For more than a decade, the documents related to the death of James, Anita's husband, seem to have been buried deep in the dust of the past, neatly stored in closed files that no one dares to touch. However, today, it is Dante who unexpectedly hands Anita a top-secret file, where the horrifying secrets about James' seemingly normal death are shockingly revealed. Anita, a woman who had experienced so much loss, did not expect that her tragedy would hide a truth more horrifying than anything she had ever imagined. In that file, there was not only evidence, but also confirmation that James' death was not accidental, nor was it due to the terrible cardiovascular disease that the medical report announced, but an intentional act of murder. A silent poisoning with a blood thinner cleverly mixed into the prescription that James took every day. The data in the file was collected from many different sources, from hidden medical test results to statements from close relatives who had never dared to speak up. There were even signs that there was a powerful force behind this incident, capable of manipulating the medical and legal systems to cover up that cruel truth for more than 15 years. James's death was not a simple murder, but a sophisticated plot, arranged with unimaginable coldness and cruelty. Anita felt the weight on her shoulders when she received the file, knowing that exposing the truth would not only bring justice to her husband, but also drag her into a dangerous spiral that she had never anticipated. Dante was not only the one who gave her a chance, but also a companion in the fierce battle ahead. Dante's appearance was not a coincidence, but the result of a silent investigation, a long and arduous journey to unearth secrets buried under the mists of time and power. Inside those pages, each piece of evidence made people shudder when they saw the wrongly prescribed blood thinners, with the concentration increasing steadily month by month, to the point of creating a dangerous state for James' health that only experts could recognize. These clues are discovered through a comparison of stored blood samples, medical reports before and after James's death, and notes that were carefully edited to conceal the truth, all of which paints a tragic but realistic picture, where James' death was no longer an accident, but a planned, meticulously staged murder. This information puts Anita at the center of a struggle not only to uncover the truth, but also to confront the dark forces that have been behind and manipulated her husband's life. Dante warns that there are not only enemies lurking in the shadows who will do anything to keep this secret, but also those within the very legal and medical systems she once trusted. Anita's every move must now be considered. Every small detail can become bait for her enemies in a dangerous game of power. Not stopping at exposing the truth, Dante and Anita begin to reveal the complex relationships related to James' death. Mysterious figures from James' past gradually appear, from suspicious business partners to acquaintances with unpredictable motives. There is evidence that James has discovered a larger conspiracy involving illegal activities, possibly even money laundering or corruption, and this has put his life in danger from within that vortex of power. The truth is even more horrifying when it is discovered that James was not only the victim of a poisoning, but also showed signs of being closely monitored in the last days of his life. Secret recordings, carefully hidden diaries, and unusual surveillance images show that he was not alone in that battle. Someone was always watching James' every move, silently carrying out the murder plan without leaving a trace. Behind the veil of seemingly close relationships are dark plots hidden like an inescapable trap. In addition, Dante also finds hidden messages that James left for Anita, signs that he knew the danger was lurking but could not find a way to escape. Each line in the letter, each coded symbol like a silent cry for help, highlights a story full of pain but also full of the resilience of a husband who wants to protect his family even when his life is threatened. James's determination to keep the secret until the end makes his death more mysterious and shocking than ever. The following days become a race against time and power as Anita and Dante begin to reveal each piece of the truth to the public and the authorities. They face efforts to prevent silent threats and dirty tactics to distract attention. At times, Dante was even warned to abandon the case or face serious consequences. However, with determination and perseverance, they gradually attracted the attention of the media and the people, turning the case that seemed to be buried into an underground wave that could not be extinguished. The journey to expose the truth entailed many unexpected consequences, not only affecting the reputation and lives of the characters involved, but also revealing the dark corners of a system full of corruption and injustice. Anita not only had to fight for justice for her husband, but also became a symbol for those who were trampled and forgotten by the underground powers. She gradually realized that, to regain the truth, she could not only rely on the law but also had to use her intelligence, courage and utmost vigilance against those who were always lurking in the dark. With Dante's wholehearted support, Anita enters a new phase of her life, where the past and present merge, creating a dramatic tragedy but also full of hope for justice. The story of James' death is not simply a murder case, but also a journey of truth being discovered, of resilient people who dare to face the darkness to find the light. And on that journey, Anita's every step is a reminder that justice is never easy, but it is always worth protecting with all faith and relentless effort. Dante and Anita's secret investigation begins to reveal many layers of cover that no one dared to touch before. Those close to James, who seemed trustworthy, gradually become conflicted and questionable characters. Some of them show signs of concealing information, changing their statements, or even deliberately sabotaging the process of finding the truth. The feeling of betrayal and loneliness gradually overwhelms Anita, as she realizes that this struggle is not only to regain justice for her husband, but also a battle to save herself from an invisible force. In addition, Dante discovers a series of falsified medical records, including autopsy reports that have been edited to cover up evidence of poisoning. It turns out that the involvement of some doctors and medical staff is inevitable, and they are important links in this complex conspiracy chain. These people, for different motives, agreed to cooperate to keep the truth hidden, creating a perfect cover that is difficult for anyone outside to penetrate. Dante begins to track down clues, following the trail from laboratories to secret meetings in medical facilities, where human lives are traded coldly. Surprisingly, while searching for the truth about James' death, Anita and Dante discover a deep connection to another case that made headlines many years ago. A medical scandal with powerful figures in business and politics at the forefront. This connection opens up a new horizon of conspiracy, where James' death is just a link in a much larger plan, involving control of the pharmaceutical and health insurance industries. Those behind it are not only interested in protecting their own interests but are also willing to destroy anyone who gets in their way, including their loved ones. The pressure on Anita grows as she becomes the target of both mental and physical attacks. One time she was followed and threatened with anonymous messages, warning her to stop or face dire consequences. Strange events continued to occur around her. Cars were smashed, important documents mysteriously disappeared, and she was even nearly harmed when leaving Dante's office. However, Anita's determination and courage never left her. She knew that if she stopped, the evil would continue to exist and James' pain would be in vain. Meanwhile, Dante is also facing difficulties. The complicated relationships in the legal profession and the judicial system begin to affect his work. Some colleagues begin to avoid or warn Dante not to continue digging into the case, because it will cause them to reveal unacceptable secrets. However, Dante remains steadfast and is ready to face any challenge to protect justice for Anita and James. In addition, a secret about Dante's past is gradually revealed. He once had a secret relationship with an important figure in the case, who is the key to unlocking the whole story. Dante was once forced to stay silent to protect himself and his family, but now he decides to stand up, not letting fear hold him back anymore. The emergence of this mysterious past makes the investigation even more dramatic, as Dante must face not only external enemies but also the ghosts in his own life. Not only that, Anita also discovers that the person she once trusted most in the family also has shocking secrets related to James's death. The complicated details of inheritance, Conflicts of personal interests and hidden conspiracies behind the scenes make the relationship between family members become extremely complicated and tense. The truth about James' death is not only the story of a poisoned man, but also the complicated survival battle of an entire family on the brink of collapse. As Dante and Anita continue to gather evidence to bring to light, they also begin to notice changes in the attitudes of those around them. Some people begin to sympathize and help them, while others deliberately mislead and sow doubt. The chaos in the search for the truth becomes more complicated when mysterious factions intertwine, each with their own goals, none of which are completely transparent. The battle of wits and strength becomes an inevitable part of the journey to find justice, making Dante and Anita unable to sit still for even a minute. In addition, Dante also finds unexpected support from some figures in the media. Investigative journalists are determined to pursue the case to the end, ready to break the veil of secrecy and bring the story to the public. Through in-depth articles and gradually published evidence, public opinion begins to speak up, creating no small amount of pressure on those behind the conspiracy. The truth is gradually revealed, making the picture of the crime clear and difficult to deny. However, behind those efforts, there are still many unsolved mysteries. Who created such a sophisticated poisoning plan? What is the real purpose behind James's death? Can Anita and Dante turn the tables against powerful and dangerous forces? And most importantly, will justice be served, or will it once again be buried under the icy layer of power and ambition? The story of James's death is not just a simple murder case but a great tragedy, reflecting the dark corners of modern society, where people are pushed into a spiral of corruption, deception and betrayal. Through the relentless struggle of Anita and Dante, people once again realize that the truth, no matter how long it is hidden, will one day be revealed, and justice, no matter how late, will never lose its sacred value. In the next steps, Anita decides to enter the most difficult legal battle of her life, facing the powerful in the courtroom. Each trial is a battle of wits, where evidence, proof and truth are put on the scale, and also where the survival of justice is decided. Dante stands by her side, not only as a lawyer but also as a loyal companion. Together they continue the unfinished story of a tragic case but also full of courage and belief in the light at the end of the road. The days ahead are still full of dangers, undiscovered conspiracies, and endless challenges. But with iron determination and solidarity, Anita and Dante fight not only for James, but also for the future of the disadvantaged, for a fairer world. This story is not only theirs, but also a constant reminder of the power of truth and justice amidst life's many challenges. If you are drawn into the story and want to discover the mysterious sequel, follow and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next episodes that will be even darker, more surprising and haunting.